Welcome everyone to week 4 of the 2015 NFL season. I'm in the basement of my house on my home computer. My camera took a dump on me, so forgive me for the, I'm not going to have the bells and whistles that I usually have, and you have to see more of my ugly face. I'm really close to 700 subs, guys. So for those of you who haven't subscribed to my channel, please hit the sub button. And you know what? Here are this week's picks. The first game we're going to look at is the game that's being played in London as the New York Jets play Miami. The Jets are 1.5 point favorites in this game. They should have won last week. My goodness, the quarterback Fitzpatrick was a turnover machine. The Miami Dolphins are in trouble. I don't think they're responding to Coach Philbin. As a matter of fact, I think he'll be fired. They might actually throw him out of the plane over the Atlantic Ocean on the way back home. Another problem with Miami is the ownership. I mean, you've got Mark Antony, Serena Williams, Venus Williams, Gloria Estefan is part of the ownership. I mean, these people don't belong as owners of an NFL team. And after they throw Philbin out of the plane, I hope they throw Mark Antony out too. I hate that guy. You know what? Let's take the Jets here. Let's lay the points and take New York minus 1.5. The second game we're going to look at is Houston at Atlanta. The Falcons are 6.5 point favorites at home. The Falcons have probably been the nicest surprise of the NFL so far. This is one of those games where it's an interconference game, and usually there's no hatred when the AFC plays the NFC and vice versa. The home team usually wins and usually covers. I really like what Atlanta's new coach Quinn is doing defensively, and of course they can score points. So let's lay the points and let's take Atlanta minus 6.5. The third game we're going to look at has Carolina going to Tampa Bay. The Buccaneers are 3-point dogs at home. Carolina is a much better team. Tampa Bay has the 29th scoring offense. I think the Panthers have the second best defense. They won't keep up. Not that the Panthers are the greatest team in the NFL, but they'll do more than enough to cover the spread. So let's lay the points and let's take Carolina minus 3. And the fourth game we're going to look at has St. Louis going to Arizona. Cardinals are 7-point favorites at home. They're just not getting any love from Vegas. It's too bad because this team should really be double-digit favorites. They're outscoring their opponents about 25 points every game. They're doing it on offense, defense, and special teams. This should be an easy cover. Let's lay the points. Let's take Arizona minus 7. Red wine. Very nice. Here are my 4 over-under plays. The first game we're going to look at is Kansas City and Cincinnati. That number is 44. The Chiefs have played all 3 of their games over. The Bengals have played 2 of the 3 over. These are 2 teams that could score a lot of points, especially in garbage time. I think that's what's going to happen here. So let's take over at 44. The second game we're going to look at has Philadelphia and Washington. That number is 46.5. Guess the only team that's played all 3 unders this year. That's right, Philadelphia. With all those changes on offense, there's just no continuity, and that might be inhibiting their ability to score points. Washington's pretty tough at home, especially defensively, so let's take under the 46.5. The third game we're going to look at is one we talked about earlier, St. Louis at Arizona. That number is 42.5. 42 is the number of points that Arizona is scoring by themselves, so all the Rams really have to do is kick in a field goal. So let's take over 42.5. And the fourth game we're going to look at is Green Bay at San Francisco. That number is 48. The Niners have shown that they can give up a lot of points to really good quarterbacks. Roethlisberger in week 2, and then I guess last week it was Palmer. Well, now they got Aaron Rodgers coming into town. He's going to be good for 40 points by himself. So let's take over the 48. Here's my let's take the man's money parlay play. I don't really expect a lot of upsets, maybe one or two. We'll get to that a little bit later. But what we'll do in this segment is something a little bit different. We're going to take more games than we normally do and a little bit more conservative. We're going to take the New York Jets -1.5, Carolina -3, Atlanta -6.5, and Arizona -7. Then we'll take the Kansas City-Cincinnati game over the 44. We'll take Washington and Philadelphia under 46. We'll take Green Bay-San Francisco over 48. And just because we're greedy, we'll take Green Bay on the money line. A $25 bet will get you $2,807.05. Let's win this one, guys. Okay, here are my straight-up plays. The first game is Baltimore at Pittsburgh. Michael Vick in for Roethlisberger. I just want to say this about the Roethlisberger. That injury that he took to his leg, everybody else would be out for a year, but he's going to be back in about 4 weeks. This guy is the toughest SOB I've ever seen in my life. You could probably shoot that guy in the head, and he'll be back in 4 weeks. Mike Vick takes over 6-14 in his last games. I don't know, since 2012. I just don't think that he can do it against a Baltimore team that's going to be really, really desperate. Let's take the Baltimore Ravens over Pittsburgh on the Thursday nighter. We talked about the game in London. I like the Jets over Miami. Indy's going to play Jacksonville. Probably will win because they always beat the teams in their own division. Andrew Luck is going to be hurt, so this game might be a little closer than you think, but Indy will win. I told you I like Atlanta over Houston very much. Carolina over Tampa Bay is another game we talked about. We'll take the Panthers. I like. You know what? In the New York Giants Buffalo game, this is one of those ones that can go either way. Sammy Watkins, the wide receiver, is questionable. The Giants are actually coming off of extra rest. They're a pretty good team. You know what? We're going to take a couple of upsets. So let's take the Giants to upset Buffalo in this game. Oakland's at Chicago. I don't normally like to take Oakland back-to-back on the road, but it is Chicago, and they are in the middle of a garage sale. They're getting rid of everybody. I don't think the Bears could beat even a CFL team. That's the Canadian Football League for those of you keeping score, or as I like to call it, the Courtesy Flush League. So let's take Oakland there. Philadelphia's at Washington. The Eagles, I don't think deserved the win last week. Washington is pretty tough at home. Let's take a slight upset. Redskins over Philadelphia there. Kansas City's at Cincinnati. This is another one that could go either way. I probably am the only person who keeps pimping the Kansas City Chiefs. This is a very good team. They won in week 1. Should have won against Denver in week 2. And hey, everyone loses in Lambeau Field. Cincinnati's coming off of that emotional win against Baltimore. It could be a letdown. I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs in this game. San Diego's at Cleveland. Chargers are back home where they are very good, and Cleveland are a bunch of bums, so let's take the Chargers. Green Bay's at San Francisco. Should be an easy one for the Pack. My Minnesota Vikings go to Denver, and as much as I'd like to say that Minnesota has a chance of knocking off the Broncos, I don't think so. Let's go with Denver. St. Louis is at Arizona. You guys know how I feel about the Cardinals. They should win easily. The Sunday Nighter has Dallas going to New Orleans. Whedon is the quarterback for Dallas, and I think he's lost 9 games in a row. New Orleans is not going to lose every game. They're going to win a game eventually, probably when it's the scrub quarterback, scrub wide receiver, and the running back from last year is gone. So let's take New Orleans in the Sunday Nighter. And on Monday night, the poor Detroit Lions maybe had the toughest schedule to open up. Now they go to Seattle. Yeah, the Seahawks will probably win that game. So let's go with the Seahawks there. Okay, so those are my picks for this week. Good luck to you. Sorry about my video, my camera. Well, I'll get that camera fixed next week. In the meantime, I'd like you to check out our website, geoknows.com. Lots of good tools for you to help your prognostication, and make sure you check out our Facebook page, the NFL YouTube Prognosticators Facebook page. I'll leave the links below, and plenty of good prognosticators on that page for you to check out, and I hope you subscribe to all of them. Okay. For the Geo Knows YouTube channel, I am Geo. Let's take the man's money.